Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Amelia Lee. An Eastern Kentucky church is setting up volunteers to come to Appalachia, helping with flood relief efforts. I was able to speak with the pastor of the church and a volunteer from Asheville, North Carolina. The decision to start housing volunteers at First Baptist Church in Hazard came after the July 2022 flood, when the church was untouched by flood water. Pastor Tim Reynolds says they did not experience flooding again this time around.
We've got a mission, and we're going to continue that mission, which is to serve the people of our community by providing volunteers for our community to do the work.
Church staff are setting up beds and preparing the fellowship hall for the incoming volunteers, some coming from Asheville, North Carolina, months after they were hit hard by Hurricane Helene.
We went down and helped them, and now we're seeing some folks come back from that same area to help us once again.
The plan for the Volunteers with Crisis Response International to muck out homes and businesses throughout Eastern Kentucky.
When a disaster happens, it takes a really long time and a lot of effort, a lot of people to put it back together.
Staying however long it takes to get the job done.
We pick one house, we stay on one house, each team does, until we get it finished.
With hearts filled with care and boots on the ground.
We know people there are exhausted, so when we bring folks in from outside to serve, it really creates this energy that's sustainable.
Showing a light at the end of the tunnel.
Help always changes form, but hope does not.
The volunteers are set to start their work this weekend. A road in Whitley County is completely washed away after the weekend flood, leaving folks stranded with no way in or out. The London Laurel Rescue Squad assisted the Cumberland Valley Electric Company this morning. 3 residential homes have been without power since Saturday. The rescue team used a boat to get across the flooded area to check on residents, while linemen worked to restore power.
Our members assisted them with cutting the trees down, and they went house to house to check on the people that didn't have power and see if they needed anything.
All residents were safe. They had either evacuated prior to the flood or declined swift water rescue and chose to stay. A man who was happy being in his home said all he wished for was a loaf of bread. Once some of the water goes down, they will be able to assess road damages and begin repairs. The flooding over the weekend caused mudslides and road damage across Letcher County. Now freezing temperatures are making recovery even harder. Crews have been working to distribute water and clear blocked roads, but officials say these disasters are becoming all too familiar.
I hate to say it, but we're learning through disaster. It seems we've been hit on the chin with it quite a bit here last few years.
Officials say long-term solutions like stream maintenance and infrastructure improvements are needed to help prevent future flooding. In the meantime, the county is continuing to provide water and shelter to those in need at the Letcher County Rec Center. The people of Pike County are still in the very early stages of cleaning up after the devastating weekend floods poured through the area. WYMT's Buddy Forbes shares a look at the progress.
It was one of the most terrifying nights of my life.
When the flood waters raged through the Lakeview subdivision in Pikeville, Brant Justice says he did not have time to think.
I'm still in shock, honestly. I'm trying to process it.
Justice says he saw the water rising Saturday night and thought he would have time to move things to higher ground the next day. But the waters were fast and furious, so his neighborhood was evacuated by boats in the midnight hours.
When we were leaving the house, I was like, that's going to be gone. Like my mom's stuff and all those memories that we'll just never get back.
After spending more than 3 decades in his family home, he says the waters left him with an overwhelming sadness and mud-soaked memories.
And that's what my dad was trying to hold on to the most, was my mom's car, and it's completely, it's not savable. And I'm just glad me and my dad and my little girl got out safe.
He says though the feeling and the fear are indescribable, so is the outpouring of support he has seen from organizations, schools, and community members.
Still, I mean, I want them to know, like, they have made this horrific disaster a little bit better.
One of those organizations, Samaritan's Purse, set up its operations center in the city of Pikeville Tuesday.
Samaritan's Purse mobilizes volunteers to come alongside of the homeowner. What we will do, we'll bring a team of volunteers to your home and clear out anything that is damaged by the flood.
The mission plans to help the people impacted by flooding get back on their feet.
We will pull carpet, flooring, tear out sheetrock, remove belongings, anything that was damaged by the flood. Samaritan's Purse will come in and help these homeowners get those things to the curb.
City officials say though it will be a long road to recovery, the assistance available through Samaritan's Purse could make all the difference. In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Justice said he put off assessing the damage as long as he could, saying he was not ready to see his home in the state it was in. But he said trying to clean up with the added snow from today just made it so much harder. One roadway in Perry County is being shut down following last weekend's flooding. Transportation cabinet officials say Kentucky 80 at mile point 5.71 is being closed due to a break in the pavement. Engineers with KYTC say the area has gotten so bad they've deemed it unsafe to travel through. The closing is between Kentucky 2021 and the bridge crossing the North Fork of the Kentucky River. No timetable was provided for when the road would be reopened. WYMT is partnering with Appalachian Regional Healthcare and WKYT to host a special telethon dedicated to raising funds for flood relief efforts. Appalachia Strong will be from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. tomorrow on WYMT. The event will bring local leaders, community members, and healthcare professionals to provide much needed support to those affected by the flooding. Viewers will have multiple ways to contribute, whether that's by phone, online, or by mailing checks. Walmart is lending a helping hand to folks impacted by the recent flooding. Officials say the company is sending truckloads of donated cleaning supplies, food, and water to local governments and organizations in Kentucky and West Virginia. There will also be a mobile kitchen serving free meals to those in the community at the Pikeville Walmart. Starting tomorrow, meals will be provided each day from 11:30 to 1:30 and then again from 4:30 to 6:30.
All right, we're getting another round of snow pushing through eastern Kentucky. Here's the latest now in Pulaski County near the Somerset area. You can see it starting to come down on the Kentucky Mesonet cameras. We're sitting at 19 degrees in Somerset. Feels like 13 out there. Harlan, you can see you can't even see the camera. It's 10 degrees out there. It feels like 10. Winds are out of the north at 3 miles per hour. Knott County, you can see the snow falling. We're sitting at 19, feels like 19. 19 with a feels like temperature of 13 in Rowan County near Moorhead. So you can see on live pinpoint Doppler radar that line of snow now starting to push through portions of eastern Kentucky. You can see again over towards portions of Jackson County, portions of Breathitt County, over towards portions of Wolf, Lee, Magoffin County, seeing some snow as well. Take a look at the bigger picture. There's a lot more to the west. That's going to be our system for the overnight hours. Now the question is, how much can we expect? I'll have the answer coming up in the First Alert forecast in a few minutes. Amelia.
All right, thank you, Eric. Well, one person is dead following a crash in Lee County, Virginia. The crash happened on February 9th on Route 421. Police say 89-year-old Bernard Noe of Jonesville, Virginia, was heading south on the roadway when he went off the side of the road in a curve before hitting a rock. Noe suffered injuries which ultimately led to his death on February 14th. Police say Noe was not wearing a seatbelt during the crash. Parts of Interstate 75 in southern Kentucky were closed earlier this morning due to the snowfall. Police say they worked a number of other minor accidents all over this region of Kentucky. None were serious, but the snow kept them from being cleaned up quickly. Conditions improved a lot as the day went on, but when snow is falling, police say the best advice is to either not drive or plan your trip carefully.
If you got to go to work, you're going to have to leave early. To arrive there safely and on time, because you never know when an accident's going to happen and you're going to be stuck on the interstate for hours.
Kentucky Vehicle Enforcement is working to investigate the crashes. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, the Trump administration's government overhaul continues with thousands more cuts to the federal workforce.
And snow's now pushing through eastern Kentucky. We'll plot everything else future view coming up in a few minutes.